Check the YouTube channel, the Our Media YouTube channel. Just go to the Our Media YouTube, see if it's showing.
Okay. Go to Our Media on YouTube.
See if it's showing. Okay, click it, see if it's showing.
What?
Click it and see if it's showing.
So it's showing low.
Okay. That's so. Oh God, when did that happen? Why did it zoom in? What the fuck?
Be a great show of feet.
Why did it zoom in? That's not what was supposed to happen. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, no, it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know why
It's
it's
a little low.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why it zoomed in like that. It's not supposed to be. Shit. What the fuck, dude? I hate this window shit.
Alright guys, so I got you the live limit. Just click on that. I'm not sure what time we're starting. Does it go on at 9, Caesar? What's the schedule?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just a camera guy.
So, yeah, just keep that in the background.
Not that time yet. Hey everybody, it's your old pal, Cliff Cash. How you doing? Hey, do me a favor, grab a seat, grab a drink, grab a seat. We're about to start the show. I'm going to get up there and talk to you, but before I do, I'm going to have a couple of my friends speak to you first. Is that okay? And before we do that, I'd like to talk with you a little bit about how to be a really good audience. Here's how to be a really good audience. You ready? Don't yell shit out. Even if you think you're funny, you're probably not that funny. And I will kick you in your fucking throat. Don't yell stuff out during the show. Turn your phone on silent. Try not to talk to each other during the show. If you need to go poo-poo, you just lean over to your lover and you say, "Lover, I gotta go poo-poo, I'll be right back." But you say that shit in a whisper. Don't yell it in your outside voice. Shout out to the people talking through the no talking announcements. Make some noise for the people talking through the don't talk announcements. These fucking white people! I'm kidding. Thank you for being here. I know you could be anywhere in the world tonight. I know you could spend your money on anything, and you're spending it to see me. And I want you to know I'm not keeping a dime of it. It's all going to go to this cause and these groups. But I appreciate you spending your hard-earned money to do this tonight. Because we're living in a fascist hellscape, and I appreciate you exhausting all peaceful possibilities before we kill them all. Thank you for being here. So, I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. We're not going to kill them yet. Don't yell during the show. Don't talk during the show. But the most important thing that you can do during the show is to laugh your ass off. You came here to feel better. You came here to let go of all this bullshit and to be present and to be joyful and to just be here for tonight and enjoy each other, enjoy being around like-minded people. So do that. Let go of everything that feels heavy, like Donald Trump's cankles or whatever else. Just let it go. All right? Before we start this comedy show, I have a really special guest for you. If you don't know him, you should. After tonight, you will. You should follow him everywhere that you can. You should read his books. He's a good friend of mine, and that means he's a good friend of yours. Make some noise and give a really warm welcome to the incredible Robert Arnold, Defiance to Death.
Hey, what's up? My name's Robert. I'm a writer, and I'm gonna read some things. It's just one thing, but anyway. Preface this by saying I was talking to a friend of mine discussing Thomas Jefferson in 250 years and how he would look at this particular moment. So that's the basis of this. So 250 years ago, Thomas Jefferson sat in a room in Philadelphia and attempted to put to words something millions of people feel only a handful of times in history: the feeling that the government no longer belongs to them. The Declaration of Independence was not born from celebration, it was born from alienation. Colonists had petitioned, they pleaded, they argued, they had compromised, they had exhausted every avenue they believed available to them. And eventually, they arrived at the terrible conclusion that the government that claimed authority over them no longer represented them. And as we approach the 250th anniversary of that declaration, I cannot help but wonder what Jefferson would write if he were handed a pen today. I don't believe he would write another declaration against England, obviously. I think he would write a declaration against unchecked power itself. Because somewhere along the way, millions of Americans have begun feeling something uncomfortably familiar, that the government feels like it belongs to someone else. Not to farmers trying to save a family land, not to teachers buying classroom supplies from their own pockets, or nurses working double shifts, or small business owners, not to working families trying to survive grocery bills and rent increases and healthcare costs. The government increasingly feels like it belongs to lobbyists and billionaires and consultants, corporations, donors, media personalities, and political operatives who have figured out how to profit from division while ordinary people fight each other for scraps. The names have changed, the accents have changed, the flags have changed, but the distance between the governed and those governing feels hauntingly familiar. And perhaps that is the lesson of 1776 that we've forgotten. The Declaration was never only about King George, it was about power. Jefferson's complaint was not that the king was British, his complaint was that power had become insulated from accountability. That decisions were being made without meaningful consent from those forced to live with the consequences, and that government had ceased to be a servant and had begun behaving like a master. Today we watch executive authority expand regardless of which party occupies the White House. We watch Congress surrender responsibilities it was designed to protect, and we watch our courts become political battlegrounds. We watch wealth purchase access while ordinary citizens struggle to get a return phone call from an elected official. And we watch constitutional restraints treated less as guardrails and more as inconveniences. And through it all, Americans are told to pick a team rather than ask a question. Who exactly is the government serving? Because that's always been the question, not left or right, not Democrat or Republican, or red or blue, or power or people. The genius of the Declaration was not that it demanded independence from England. The genius was that it asserted a timeless principle. No government owns the people. The people own the government. Every generation is required to reclaim that principle, not necessarily through violence or vengeance, not through blind loyalty or political movement, but through participation, through accountability, through demanding transparency, through insisting that public servants remember who they serve. The greatest threat to democracy has never been disagreement. The greatest threat has always been the concentration of power beyond the reach of ordinary citizens. It was true in 1776, and it's true today. And perhaps the most patriotic thing Americans can do in the 250th anniversary is not celebrate our independence from a king who died centuries ago. It is perhaps to renew our independence from the idea that anyone is entitled to power without accountability. To remind ourselves that this country does not belong to presidents, it does not belong to parties or corporations or donors or the powerful. It belongs to us. A government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Not as a clever phrase, as a demand. And that's what Jefferson would write today, not a declaration of war, a declaration that the American people intend to reclaim ownership of that republic. So, when in the course of a nation's life it becomes necessary for a free people to examine the state of a republic entrusted to their care, respect for those who came before them requires that they speak plainly. That we hold still to the ancient truth that all people are born equal in both dignity and in worth. That rights are not granted by governments but secured by them. That liberty is not property of the powerful but a birthright of the people. That governments derive their just authority from the consent of the governed and remain accountable to those from whom that authority is borrowed. These truths haven't changed. Neither time nor war nor prosperity nor technology has diminished them. They are as true today as they were when first committed to paper and entrusted to the ages. Yet every generation answers the same question. Does power still serve the people, or have the people been asked to serve power? Because it's the tendency of all authority to seek its own expansion. The tendency of wealth is to seek influence. The tendency of institutions is to seek permanence. The tendency of ambition is to seek dominion. And against these tendencies stands only the eternal vigilance of a free people. We therefore declare that no office is greater than the Constitution, that no party is greater than the Republic, and that no corporation is greater than the citizens. No accumulation of wealth, influence, title, or position confers greater ownership of this nation that belongs equally to every American. For the Republic was not founded for the comfort of kings, it was established for the enrichment of the wealthy, or established for the enrichment of the wealthy. It wasn't preserved through sacrifice so that power might become the inheritance of the few. It was founded, defended, and enlarged by ordinary people. Farmers and laborers and teachers and tradesmen, immigrants and pioneers and soldiers who never returned home, by the citizens who marched, organized, voted, protested, built, sacrificed, and believed. Labor is the mortar between every stone of this union. Their courage is written in every chapter of its history, and because of them, we reject the doctrine of helplessness. We reject the notion that democracy belongs to the elite alone. We reject the belief that citizenship ends at a ballot box, and we reject the lie that corruption is inevitable. We reject the fear that asks free people to surrender liberty in exchange for comfort. We reject the cynicism that whispers that nothing can be changed. For the American experiment was never an act of certainty, it was an act of faith. Faith that free people could govern themselves, all people, all free. Faith that power could be restrained, that law could stand above ambition, and that liberty and justice can be expanded from generation to generation. That faith remains our inheritance and it remains our responsibility. So, let it be declared that the Republic still belongs to the people. in sentiment, but in fact. And let every public servant remember whom they serve. Let every institution remember from where its legitimacy is derived. Let every citizen remember that self-government is not a gift received from the past, but a duty owed to the future. And let us dedicate ourselves to the unfinished work of liberty, to a nation where power remains accountable, where truth remains sacred, justice remains blind, and where rights remain universal. And let future generations say that when confronted with division, we chose the Union. When confronted with fear, we chose courage. When confronted with corruption, we chose integrity. Confronted with concentrated power, we chose liberty. And when called upon to defend the Republic, we remember that America is not its politicians, it's not its parties or its institutions, that America is its people. And so long as people remain free, vigilant, and determined, the flame first lit in Philadelphia will not be extinguished. It will endure, the Union will endure, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall remain the sacred charge of every generation yet to come, and still it shall not perish from this earth. Thank you.
Hey now, thank you. Blair Postman, Cat Ladies of America, is going to come up now. Thank y'all very much.
Taller than me. How you doing, DC? That's pretty good for a bunch of lefty commies, but I think you can do better. How you doing, DC? Excellent, excellent. Guys, my name is Blair Postman. I am super excited to be here. And yes, my voice does sound divorced. No. So, make some noise for me if you live in or immediately around DC. Make some noise for me if you live. Make some noise for me if you're here from out of town. Make some noise for me if you're here. Although in fairness, most people who live in DC now are originally from out of town. And I know that because I lived in DC for a long time, but about 4 years ago, I moved to Baltimore, Maryland, which I love. Yes, on purpose. On purpose. I fucking love it. It reminds me of Jersey, I think. And don't get me wrong, right? I lived the better part of 20 adult years in and around DC. And I love the super cool neighborhoods I can no longer afford to live in. And I love the free museums that I really should have gone to more when they were open, right? All that shit is number one still in our nation's capital. But over the last few years, modern day, like forward-facing, official Washington, have become a place built just by the winners, just for the winners. Whereas Baltimore is a town that will lose with you. Yes, right. Every day in DC, somebody important gets knocked off the pedestal because of one mistake. But nobody ever has to leave Baltimore in disgrace. That doesn't exist. Right, guys, when the sexual harassment news started breaking, Kevin Spacey moved full-time to Baltimore. And until just a couple of months ago, when they auctioned off his billion-dollar row house because of all the judgments against us, he walked among us. So, make some noise for me if you are ADHD. That tracks. And now, make some noise for me if you are here with someone who should have laughed at that last question or clapped at that last question. For all of the rest of you who should have made some noise, that is your diagnosis. Congratulations. I am saving you a copay. For those of you who don't know, ADHD people have an unreliable amount of some important brain chemicals, right, that regulate a multitude job work deadlines. But I also adopted a third cat. And that is a net win for me. Right. Cat ladies, cat daddies, cat folks makes a noise. Uncanny Alice makes a noise. We have our queen over here in the back. That's on the couch again. So, also people with ADHD will know that sometimes those brains, right, they release some extra amounts of those important brain chemicals. And they send us into hyper focus, which is the ability to hone in on every excruciatingly small detail of a subject for God knows how long. And I believe, sincerely, that that ability is where cures for cancer could come from. And also, where my Facebook cat group culture copy comes from, guys. You don't get to choose your hyper-focus. You don't get to choose it with the supplement. Guys, I, during COVID, came to enjoy a private Facebook group called This Cat is Chunky. Some of you know it. Some of you seem like you're pretending not to know it. Live your life. For those of you who really don't know it, This Cat is Chunky, CHONKY. It's a private Facebook group dedicated to the celebration and uplifting of plus-size cats and their owners and the lives we lead together. It's a very body-positive place. There's no fat cat shaming allowed. And it's the nicest, most supportive place on the internet. So I did this, told my husband about it, because he's a cat daddy. I knew he'd be into it. 2 weeks later, I circled back with him, asked him, to tell him everything I've seen in Chunky Cat Land. He tells me that he has gone on and joined over 3 dozen more private niche cat Facebook groups. More than 3 dozen, sir! What could they be, Blair? I know you are wondering. Don't worry, I will give you some examples. Right, but before we go any further, just so we're all on the same page, right? We got This Cat is Chunky. That's your basic fat cats. That's your gateway drug. You all know about this one now. Then we got groups like This Cat is Slonky. These are very stretched out cats. Maybe they're yawning. Maybe they're in a sunlight spot. They look like very tall gentlemen. Then we've got groups like This Cat is Soggy. And that is just wet cat after wet cat. Oh, pissed off wet cats. He's so angry. Then we've got groups for every shape and size of cats. One of my favorites is called This Cat is Small, S-M-O-L, cat speak for small. And here's an excellent picture from that group. You're goddamn right. But what's the most important thing about this picture? What's the most important thing? What? He got a little bitty suitcase, guys! Where is he going? Then we've got groups for every color of cat, every fur pattern of cat, every intersection of those things. One of my favorites is called This Cat is Orange. And here is a very important selection from that group. For those in the back who cannot see, I will describe it for you now. Is a large, borderline chunky, orange tabby cat, wearing a bolero string tie, and an itty bitty cowboy hat. Now I am the founder of a group called Cat Ladies for America. And still I ask you, how do you get a cat to wear that hat? How do you get a cat to wear a hat? That one! How do you get a cat to wear a hat? My cat tried to kill me if I try to do that. They do not like a hat. They do not like a hat. Even though one of mine is also orange and fabulous. Like this cat who is wearing a hat. Now my friends is a true Blair cat fact. Yes, nailed it. You got it. By the way, that's what an ADHD hyperfocus rabbit hole feels like. And all this should just be the most dumb fun made of cats. But because we can't have anything nice, there are people in this group who go to war with others in the group reminds me a lot of the current confusion around the First Amendment. Now, 25 years ago, for a minute and a half, I was a lawyer. I know. And my first day job was nothing but First Amendment work. And look, I am not the alum that nonprofit is bragging about in its fundraising letters. But if you hang around the office long enough, you're going to pick up a few things. Like this cool tip. People saying they think you're a dick is not a violation of your First Amendment rights. It just goes, I'm not the government. I just think you're a dick. Case closed. But still, over the last many years, some people who should know better have been very confused about this. Let's go back in time, about 5 years, for an example, from U.S. Senator and Yale Law School graduate Josh Hawley. That was appropriate. He got very upset and claimed publicly that his First Amendment rights had been violated because after he threw this gang sign to the white power people who would storm the Capitol a few minutes later, his new publisher decided he was too big a dick to work with. She's not the government. She just doesn't want to work with you anymore. You know why? Because you're a dick. Holly, you don't have a First Amendment problem. You got a dick problem. So you tell me, though, how any of this bullshit First Amendment angst is at its soul really that much different than this, I don't think that cat has got enough angst. And maybe you don't agree with me, right? And that's fine. But give me one more chance to convince you. Let's go back over to Chunky Cat Land and see what's happening. Because remember, those admins, after those people made the most obnoxious vile comments, and the admins deleted those comments because of the civility group they had all agreed to, those people got even more angry. And they started a splinter cell called This Cat is Really Chunky, so they could better enforce their fat cat orthodox worldview and spread across the globe. Which reminds me a lot of the events surrounding the day when old Twitter kicked Trump off old Twitter. Guys, what was that like inside the White House? Have you ever told a heroin addict they're not allowed to have heroin anymore? They get very upset. Have you guys never seen Train Spotting? But still, his buddies who are still on old Twitter came out full force with their First Amendment bullshit angst. Like here's, Nikki Haley! Even back then, bucking for a promotion. She said silencing people, not to mention the president, is what happens in China, not this country. But here's the thing, I think you knew this, Nikki. In China, that's the government. And here, it was just old Twitter, which at least back then was still not our government. Besides, you love when the invisible hand of capitalism makes decisions. It made the choice here. It chose to kick him off because he was too big a dick. Guess he's gonna have to get some carrier pigeons or start a phone tree. How else could the president get out messages to the people? And his son Don Jr. was so upset that day. I guess he thought since his dad was kicked off Twitter, he'd have no way to communicate with him. Okay, maybe not really, but it's fun to think about, right? Because metaphorically, that would be like if my husband only communicated with me by tagging me in the comments section of Facebook cat group posts. Which, yeah, sure, is one way he does communicate with me. But it's not the only way. And the very respectable Rudy Giuliani said, "Who's gonna be silenced next?" He was looking at you, Rudy. He silenced himself because he was too big Carolina, where I went to try to clean up my life and shit, and decided that 43 was a great age to start in Wilmington, North Carolina, and it actually was. It was a great, welcoming place to be. And Cliff and I sometimes, you know, we'd go on road trips, mostly in my car, mostly with my gas. And it was great. It was never a boring road trip. I remember once, and you will not remember this, I remember once we were driving to, like, Raleigh was a couple of hours away. We do a lot of comedy in Raleigh and Durham. And we were going, we stopped at the rest stop, and I'm from Jersey, right? Born and bred Jersey girl. Surprise. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? No. And born and bred Jersey girl, and Gen X, sexy Gen X, and so I'm a Diet Coke girlie. Like crisp, they gotta be crisp, but I'm a Diet Coke girlie. And we stopped at the rest stop, he's getting cheer wine. And he's like arguing with me about the pros of cheer wine, and we're really deep on cheer wine. And it's just like, we don't have to debate everything. Do we have to debate everything? Okay, yes we do. Yes, we do have to debate it. But Cliff has just been a joy, one of a community of people who's been a real joy in my life in comedy. And I didn't know he was doing this shit, and then a year and a half ago, surprise, there he was. And there I was. And so this has been a real fun time for me, and I'm so glad that you have me. And it's so great to see Cliff again in person. So glad, everybody, put your
something. This is a small group of people in the grand scheme of things. But I don't want this to feel disheartening to you when I say this. I want it to be heartening. I want you to look around you, and I want you to realize this right here, this is the resistance. Because whatever you think about these national groups being funded by other men who are also in the Epstein files, they're not coming to save us. Reid Hoffman ain't coming to save us. Reid Hoffman's part of Palantir, Pete, whatever the fuck his name is, Peter Thiel's secret 200 group. The guy funding, the number one funder of Indivisible, is in Peter Thiel's secret 200 Mastermind Alliance group. It feels like controlled opposition because it is. And I don't want to bum you out. I want to tell you, stop waiting on some big group or some big elected official or some big leader. You're a leader. This is the resistance. This is enough. We can stop them. You just got to tell 1,000 of your closest friends. And I'm not shitting on everybody that's been involved in Indivisible. There's amazing moms and grandmothers and wonderful people working their asses off in these local Indivisible groups. That's not what I'm talking about. But when a national group refuses to encourage people to flood D.C., that's controlled opposition. Sorry, it just is. When a national group refuses to push impeachment, that's controlled opposition. I'm sorry. I don't want it to be. I know it's sad. I know it doesn't feel good to hear it. It doesn't feel good to say it, but it doesn't make it less true. No one's coming to save us. You don't need anybody's permission to be an activist, and you don't need anybody's help to be an activist. You can organize town halls and protests, and you can go physically fuck shit up all by yourself. You don't need anybody to tell you to do it or help you to do it. So thank you for being here. I want to start it off, just get the energy way down. I like to work hard. I like to bring the energy to a complete zero. before doing an hour of stand-up comedy, which is mostly just me complaining about things that make me angry. And you guys are like, it makes me angry too. I guess it's funny. What a weird time to be alive. Christian nationalism. Heavy emphasis on the nationalism and not so much on the Christian. Right? Because that's what they're saying, is they're going to push Christianity on you. Are you really? You guys are really going to push Christianity on me? Are you going to feed the hungry and house the poor and heal the sick? That sounds pretty fucking nice, Pete Hegseth. That sounds a little bit out of character for a drunk, rapist, white supremacist. If it was that kind of Christianity, then fucking sign me up. But I still need a separation of church and state. But it's not, hey, don't worry, it's not that kind of Christianity. It's the kind where women can't vote and closeted gay men with tiny limp dicks have to rub their tiny wee-wees on an assault rifle before they can come. It's that kind. It's that kind. You know what kind of Christianity they want to push on you? Christian rock. That's what kind. Fuck that. I will fight for trans rights and voting rights and women's rights with my voice and my vote and my hands if I have to. But I'll tell you right now, I will fight against Christian rock with my fucking life. Nothing presents a bigger threat to this country than Christian rock and roll. Except for maybe Christian rap. Have you heard that? Christian rock and roll, fuck you. It was the Christians that did Footloose and tried to stop Elvis. Stop fucking lying to us. Now they want to appropriate rock and roll. Have you heard Christian rock? What's wrong with it? Why are they doing that? Why's it gotta be weirdly erotic? It's fucking creepy. Have you heard it accidentally at a chicken place? I'm not talking about the chicken place you're talking about. I'm not talking about that. I would never go to Chick-fil-A. Fuck them. I quit spending dollars there when I found out they were big pieces of shit. I was at a fucking Bojangles and they put this shit on. I was furious. I was about to order a spicy chicken filet with some Cajun fries with extra seasoning and a side of slaw that I was going to put on the sandwich with some Texas Pete. I was fucking stoked. And this song came on, and I didn't know I was at church. I thought it was a love song. I was into it. They started playing it, and I was like, this is a nice song. I was like, this is really romantic. You know? Because the lyrics were like, you are my everything. And I was like, oh, my lady is my everything. And then it was like, Jesus. I was like, whoa, what the fuck, dude? It's creepy. You know? It's good. Why is it sexual? You're like, Jesus, I feel you moving inside of me. You're about to come and save us. Whoa, what? I thought even Jesus would be like, shut the fuck up, dude. Gross, bro. Gross. Stop. I don't know you like that. I mean, I do know you. I knew you before you were born. Not in a mildly erotic way. I know it. I'm scared of it because I know it. I grew up in it. I grew up in that church where you sing with your hand in the air if you really love the Lord, both hands if you're not a piece of shit. Youth group church, lyrics on a screen, smoke machine, boy band. God plays drums. You know it. Creepy. Creepy as shit. Right? Praise director. Faux hawk vest. You know. sons. Because I will. I'll be like, hey, everybody's the same. Everybody's equal. Girls can do everything boys can do. You be nice to everybody no matter what. If there's a kid in your class that doesn't have a friend, he's got a fucking friend now and it's you. Congratulations. Militant kindness. And every once in a while I catch myself and I'm like, oh shit, I better take it out a notch. I might be accidentally raising a tongue-talking state trooper. It's gonna turn 18 and be like, I want a Mustang with exhaust. I grew up in that kind of church, man. I remember being like 15 and the youth pastor, Jeff, who was creepy as fuck, he gave a sermon about self-abuse. Jerking it. Some of y'all are like, what the fuck is that? I didn't know either. He gave a sermon about masturbation where he never once said the words masturbation. He just kept saying self-abuse for an hour. And every teenage boy in the room was trying not to laugh for an hour. Like, sir, you are literally preaching to a room of professionals. This room could break a black light. What the fuck are you talking about? Self-abuse? You are doing it wrong, dog. You need to get you some coconut oil or some shit. What the fuck? Self-abuse. I went to church every Sunday morning, every Sunday night, every Wednesday night, church summer camp, church ski trips, yeah, snow skiing for the Lord. First time somebody touched my ding-a-ling was on a church van on the way back from a ski trip. Yeah, it was under a blanket. We're Christians. It's my cousin Gina. And, at that time, I just knew her as Gina. I went home thrilled, thinking I had a girlfriend. I went home, I was like, Mom, I really like that Gina girl. My mom was like, cousin Gina? I was like, oh, fuck. Like, you weren't going to mention the hottest girl at church is my cousin? Thanks for nothing. That was an awkward phone call. I had to call cousin Gina. I was like, hey, I got terrible news. Turns out my dad and your mom are cousins. Yeah, no, I don't want to stop, but we got to keep it on the down low. For sure. We can't tell anybody. And you can't get pregnant, they'll make us have it. Right? Incest is not a deal breaker. Not for the GOP. They know who their base is. Right? You can't go killing your base. Even the left gets uncomfortable with that joke. We all know who incest babies vote for. Sorry, sometimes it's not funny, it's just the truth. I was in it, man. I was in it hardcore. In the church. That's why I know these people. That's why I know how dangerous it is. I've seen it firsthand. I came to church at 15 with a Beastie Boys t-shirt on, and someone fussed at me. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. That was when I gave up on Christianity, was when they fussed at me for a Beastie Boys t-shirt. That was like my existential moment, you know? I love that some of these people are jumping ship. It's crazy. People are just now, they're like, you know what, I think I'm done. Like, really? Now? Now. You hung out. You hung out through all this other shit. Right? Fascinating. together. They stuck with it through all this shit. And now they're like, I don't know. I was with him through cheating on all 3 families and 6 bankruptcies and 34 felonies and completely separate 34 business felonies and his CFO going to prison twice. I was on board for the 9 different indictments and charges including espionage and hiding top secret documents in a half bath with a shitty golden chandelier and a plastic shower curtain rod like a starter apartment. I was on board for all that. I was on board for him having sex with a porn star and paying her illegal hush money using campaign funds against the law while his 3rd wife / immigrant was giving birth to an anchor baby. I was on board for that. I was on board for him making a googly-eyed bridge troll Keebler Ralph the head of the FBI. I was on board for that. I really like this elderly steroid grandpa with the baseball glove skin being the head of all the health decisions. I was on board for that. Vaccines are bad, tanning beds are good. I was on board for the head of all the spies being directed by a cult leader from Hawaii whose toenails she eats. But fuck these gas prices. Like, really? That's all it took was gas prices? I'll pay $20 a gallon if we can be a regular fucking country again. I'll go pour on a fucking moped. Can we get back to being regular adults? I'll drive a Prius if you quit voting for a child rapist. So crazy. They're jumping ship, it's why I'm glad they're jumping ship, I wish it was an actual ship in the Strait of Hormuz that's being fired upon. But I'll take it. It's just weird that they waited till now, Well, Joe Rogan said. Speaking of ships, I'm happy to not be on one. If you followed me for any amount of time, you might know that things are kind of like looking up for me. But like last year, they weren't as much. And I did 15 cruises. Yeah, that's the proper response. Some of y'all are like, that sounds fun, because you're stupid. You won't believe this, but cruise ships are not exactly my target demographic. They get mad. They get mad if you accidentally say smart stuff. Like, you wait just a minute, you son of a bitch. I don't know why you're using big words like evidently. I don't know what irony means, you uppity motherfucker. Well, ironically, it was hard, It was like last year it wasn't that bad because it was Royal Caribbean, which is actually like a pretty decent brand or company. It could have been worse. Shout out to Royal Caribbean for not ruining my life. But it wasn't ideal, And I had an agent reach out to me and he was like, hey, I had an agent at the time, and this guy's a cruise agent. And he's like, hey, Ed said you might need to book some cruises. What's your calendar look like so far? And I was like, well, I recorded this special called The Long Road, and I self-released it, and to be totally honest with you, I thought it was going to take off, and I thought it was going to change my life. So I didn't really book anything. And the guy just goes, he just kind of like laughed in my face. And so he calls me back and he's like, I got you on 15 cruises. And I needed the money, you know? So I said yes. And I needed the money for like the first 13. Yeah, I really needed it, the first 13. And the last 2, I didn't really need the money anymore. But I was raised by conservative boomers. And they instilled in me all this fucking work ethic and character and integrity. So I just reluctantly did it anyway, just fucking furious the whole time. I was just on the boat like, I gotta keep my fucking word! I did 15 cruises. I hope to never do them again. That's my main career goal is to never perform on another cruise ship. Unless it's a chartered Antifa cruise over here. That'd be fun, right? Some good comics, some good bands. Blair Postman talking about cats. Yeah. Mix it up. Everybody eats mushrooms the first Tuesday. Talk about weapons training. Get ready for the inevitable conflict. But it wasn't as bad as like a couple years before that, I did some cruises also against my will at a time when I really needed the money. But those were Carnival cruises. Yeah, you guys, some of y'all have been on one. One time I said, I did 15 Carnival cruises and a lady went, "Whoop." She made the most realistic throw-up noise I've ever heard, and I laughed so hard. If you've never been on a Carnival cruise, it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's kind of like if Golden Corral. Remember that website, People of Walmart? Imagine if Golden Corral fucked People of Walmart and they had a baby that could float. And they had terrible Wi-Fi. That's a Carnival cruise. If you don't believe me, don't worry. There's a documentary called Poop Cruise. That's the name of the documentary. It's on Netflix. It's called Poop Cruise. And it's about a Carnival cruise ship breaking down in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. And that's how you get an applause break at a progressive comedy show. You just say a fact. Please say another fact, sir. Here's one. Clogging your poop's not your fucking friend. Oh, so nice. I have a shirt that says Gulf of Mexico. It's pretty subtle, you know. It's just like a black shirt with a little map, you know. I was wearing at the grocery store one day, and this old man goes, "It's Gulf of America." And I said, "Only if you're a fucking imbecile, sir." And I'm not a fucking imbecile. And then I just went and got some arugula. Because I'm a beta snowflake. I'm not gonna eat kale because I'm not a lying motherfucker. I'm tired of everybody pretending that kale tastes good. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. No, it doesn't. Quit lying to yourself. Quit lying to your loved ones. If we're going to fix this country, we have to stop lying to each other. Fuck kale. Shut the fuck up about it. It tastes really good if you put butter and garlic. Butter and garlic tastes good. Fuck kale. People will lie to I have friends that will lie to my face. They'll be like, "Do you want a kale chip?" "No, motherfucker, I don't want a kale chip." And then they'll judge me for eating a Little Caesars hot and ready. That's a $5 large pepperoni pizza, you piece of shit. I'll put that in my passenger seat and make love to that all the way down the highway. Fuck kale. Nobody ate it at all 10 years ago. Nobody. When I was a kid, you never even saw kale unless unless you went to the Pizza Hut buffet and they had it as a decoration. It was on the ice around the shit that didn't taste like shit. I remember my dad, I remember being like, can I have some of that? It's like, fuck no, don't touch that. It's a decoration, dumbass. You don't eat that. You leave that on the ice. They're gonna throw that away in 6 weeks when it starts to wiggle. Pretending that Little Caesars is nasty. Fuck you. Pizza is pizza. Some of it's wonderful, some of it's just awesome. Shitty pizza is still good, okay? It's good. For $5 in the United States of America? $5 for a large pizza? Fuck you if you don't like that. You're a 1%er and you should get the fuck out of here. You know what I like to do? The pizza. It's a good deal. Sure it is. You know what's a better deal? The cheese bread. Yeah, that shit's like $2.87. I don't even know how they're making a profit on that. Have you seen the box? It's a nice box. That's a $2 box. Comes with a sauce. Right? Here's what you do. You get invited to a dinner party, you show up with that fucking garlic cheese bread. Not in the box. No, not in the box. Now you take it out of the box it came in, you wrap it in foil from your house. Then you get a little post-it note, draw a heart on it, and be like, Kelly's Crazy Cheese Bread. You take that to the Super Bowl party and fucking plop it down. Put it beside somebody's shitty spinach dip. 30 minutes in, people are like, whoa, 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 this bread is unbelievable. People will lose their minds. You let them all talk about it all night, and every time somebody asks you, oh, yeah, this is my crazy garlic cheesy bread. Been making it for years, it's really good, made from scratch. You're like, it's the best bread I've ever had in my life, holy shit. People fucking, seriously, they lose their minds. And then at the end of the night, you'd be like, hey everybody, I gotta go. Just a heads up, that cheesy bread was from Little Caesars. Pizza, pizza. And you just roll out. People will be furious, but they'll know they've been lied to for years. Anyway, Carnival Cruise Lines. I had an agent, this is a couple years ago now, he calls me and he's like, he was my main booking agent. His name was Chuck. Nice guy, liar, you know, but pretty nice fella. He calls me and he says, would you consider doing cruises? And I was like, Chuck, I'm an unfamous comedian. I would consider doing all kinds of shit. Most of which I don't feel comfortable telling you about. He's like, is that a yes? I was like, it's a maybe. I was like, I'll be down to talk about it. He's like, I'll call you back. Calls me the next day and he goes, good news, I booked you 15 Carnival cruises. And I was like, damn dog, what happened to talking about it? You know? But I needed the money, so I said yes. And I was like, hey buddy, you're gonna have to like, tell me the deal. You're gonna have to walk me through this. I've only been on a cruise ship ever once in my life, and I was 12. I don't know anything about performing on these ships. I need the 411. And he goes, man, honestly, I just started booking them. I really don't know that much about it. I was like, damn, thank you so much, Chuck. Let me send you some money. And then this dude said this to me. This is a real thing that a grown man said to me recently in modern history. He said, you're going to go to exotic places and meet exotic people. He said that shit to me like a 1960s vacuum salesman. Like, what the fuck? And I did go, you know, I met some exotic people. And I went to Cozumel 15 times. I remember my 11th trip to Cozumel, I was like, I'm not even going to get off the boat, you know? If I buy cocaine from this scooter rental guy one more time, he's going to think I have a problem. It was incredible. people watching though, I will say that. It was unbelievable. I remember so if you've ever been on a Carnival cruise, there's two different kinds. The short cruise and the long cruise. The short cruise is like a fucking booze cruise. 3 nights out of Miami, everybody's on there just getting Waffle House drunk, you know? Just scattered, smothered, and shit-faced, losing their minds, forgetting who they are. People, and they get the drink package, 15 drink maximum. They're hitting that shit in the fucking breakfast buffet. They're in the windjammer at 9:15 in the morning, stumbling around, fuck-faced, eating bacon, just no shoes. Hammered, like, how are you that drunk in the morning? They're like, it's morning, you know, just. I remember going to the nightclub, and one of the first booze cruises I went on, I went to the nightclub because I was like, this is going to be incredible people watching. And it was. And I remember being in the nightclub watching people, and like, I was like, I can't emotionally handle how insane these people are. I was like, I feel like I should go to my room, or I might either like fight somebody or kill myself or something. Because I saw a lady twerking her front butt. Have you ever seen that? Is that a weird way to say it? I don't know how to say it. You know what twerking is, right? So twerking's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm glad there's no. Twerking is like you do that, and your butt is supposed to shake. Mine doesn't. I have like love handle. You know, it's not. I get it. So she was doing that, but her back butt, her regular butt, it wasn't really moving. But her front butt was going crazy. It was swinging like a fucking pendulum. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I was standing back like, whoa. It was touching the floor, you know? The janitorial staff was like, holy shit, we were gonna get that beer up with a mop, but using that fupa like a brawny paper towel. I remember showing up to my first Carnival cruise, I knew nothing. I'd never been on one. I show up, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have like a nice room, it's gonna have the best time. And I couldn't find my room, and eventually I asked one of the crew, I was like, hey buddy, sorry, I'm having a hard time finding my room, could you help me? And I don't know where he's from another country, he's a really nice guy, big smile, really, really kind, and really helpful, you know, because he wasn't a white American, and right, yeah, kindness and empathy, and so he looks at my key and he's like, oh, 1425. And I was like, yeah, is that, you know, I was like on the first floor, you know, I was like, I thought I was close. He was like, oh, buddy. He goes, it's not up here. It's down there. I was like, is that good? He goes, no. I was like, can you take me there? And he's like, come on. He leads me down. We went through a door that said personnel only, a heavy metal door. And then he's walking me down a metal staircase with pipes overhead, right? And I can hear stuff in the pipes. I'm like, oh, I can hear shit in the pipes. Literally shit, probably shit. What an adventure, so much fun. He's leading me down a steep metal staircase like I'm on the fucking hunt for Red October or some shit. Finally, we get to my room, and he opens the door and turns up the light, and I went, oh no. It was brutal. And listen, I toured the country in a 21-year-old Sprinter van. I'm not fancy. I'm not hard to impress. I backpack. I camp. I sleep in the dirt. And even I was like, It was the shittiest room. It was like vinyl floor. It had a pole in the middle. Like a twin bed with like a summer camp mattress on it. The bathroom looked like an RV bathroom from the 80s that was never renovated or cleaned. It was bad. No window because I was underwater, you know, submarine. Probably doing self-abuse, it's hard to say. I just sat there and I was like, I should have quit years ago. I could have a job at Lowe's, I could be working in the flooring department. I'm really good with ceramic tile, like really good. And just then the phone rang, and I was like, that can't be real. Nobody knows I'm here, you know? And it was the landline, or whatever. It was like C line, whatever it is. I'm like, hello? And the guy goes, Cleve! And I goes, what? He goes, Cleve! He's like, this is Cliff Cash. He goes, yes, Cleve, come to the safety training. And I was like, I don't fucking know who you are, dude. I don't know any information. He's like, come to the safety training. If you've ever been on a cruise ship, all the names of the places are some dumb nautical shit. So I'm like, I don't know where it is, sir. And he's like, you gotta come to the Cracker Jack, you know, seashell clam, seahorse, buttfucker, casino, seaweed, whatever. I was like, okay, I'll be there in a minute. So I get to this safety training, it's already started, I'm clearly late. And they sit me down, and I'm thinking it's gonna be 5 minutes. It was like an hour and a half. And they start like telling us real rules. Everybody else is in like a hazmat suit or dressed like a captain. And I'm like, hey, you know I'm a comedian, right? Like, I'm not gonna help at all. With anything. Even if you ask me to help, I'm not gonna, like, if something goes wrong, there's a really good chance I did it, you know? If this shit goes down, it's probably me. It's probably me. Honestly, I was probably drunk. So they start doing all the announcement, the rules, and then he looks at the entertainers, and he's like, okay, entertainers. And I'm like, huh. And he goes, first of all, you can't bang the guest. Yeah. He didn't say bang, but you know what I'm saying. He's like, you can't do it to the guest. And I was like, well, thank you for that vote of confidence. I'm really flattered that you think I can bang all these old people. Right? Because that's who's on the long cruise. The short cruise is the booze cruise. The old cruise is for people over 98. And that's the one I was on for that one. You know, it's like old people and their parents. It's like you can't bang the guest. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Second of all, have you seen my room? I can't bang anybody in there. It's too fucking small. I tried to bang myself before we left port. Fucked up my elbow. I banged my elbow. I've been icing my elbow since we left shore. I'm trying to keep the inflammation down. Even if I wanted to bang myself, the Wi-Fi is too bad. It's too bad. It's not even good enough to watch Pornhub. And even if I wanted to watch Pornhub, and even if your Wi-Fi wasn't terrible, I can't even watch Pornhub because this ship left out of Tampa and it's illegal in Florida. The state of Matt Gaetz and Donald Trump made Pornhub illegal. Feels a little hypocritical. Wait a minute, you guys are great teenagers. I can't watch consenting adults 69 for 5 minutes. I'm not trying to sin, I'm just trying to finish. Isn't it weird how they made Pornhub illegal, but they didn't make the shitty ones illegal? Every state's trying to outlaw Pornhub. They're like, no, the other ones are fine. You can still watch the shitty ones. We want you to jerk off. We just want you to work harder for it. Pornhub is the HBO of porn. They got me watching XXNX or some shit. I'm up here watching the Tubi of porn. It's harder. So bizarre, man. Like, people talk about porn addiction. Like, what does that mean? You keep watching even after you're done? What is that? Somebody's like, I just love this director. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I'll see what happens. So I'm in the safety training thing. Oh, and then he says, also to the entertainers, he goes, if you smell a guest smoking marijuana, you have to tell security. I was like, nah. I'm not a narc, bro. guests for smoking something that makes me funnier. That sounds counterintuitive. I raised my hand. I was like, what happens if I smell cocaine? He was like, not funny. So I'm on this ship. I'm suffering from clinical depression, existential dread, self-doubt, and some pretty severe anxiety. And so somebody during my little tour, the fella had showed me they have a craft cocktail bar. I was like, well, I love craft cocktails. If you don't know what a craft cocktail is, it's like a regular cocktail, but a lot more expensive. Because it has crazy cool shit, like old ass fruit with no juice. You know how a cheap cocktail has a fresh, juicy slice of something? Not a craft cocktail. Old dry fruit, no juice. Fancy. If you're lucky, it'll have some leaves in it too. Something hard to get, like rosemary. Hey, why is this drink $22? Because it's got rosemary in it, you dumb fuck. You know how much it costs to buy a 20-foot bush of rosemary? A nickel, you fucking brat. But I got half off at the cocktail bar, and I was like, that is in my budget area. And I was feeling a little down. I was feeling a little self-doubt and depression and existential dread. And I was like, you know what? I think the thing that will make me feel better than anything is to pour some depressants on top of this. That'll turn it around. Works every time. So I was by myself, of course. I was not trying at all. And I kind of wanted it to be obvious that I wasn't trying. So I had on sweatpants, Crocs, and a t-shirt. I put in my earbuds, and I started listening to some true crime. Yeah, because I consume a lot of political news, about 12, I'm embarrassed to admit this, about 12 to 15 hours a week of political news, and my brain gets so fucked up from it, I have to have murder as a palate cleanser. Like, oh, I'm really feeling out of sorts, maybe some murder can turn this day around. So I got murder, sweatpants, Crocs. I go up to the craft cocktail bar. The Wi-Fi is so shitty that I can't even see my own social media. So I'm just listening to a pre-downloaded episode of 48 Hours. And I'm like, it was the husband again. And I can't do anything with my phone. Nothing will work. So I'm just looking through pictures of my family that I wish I was with. So I'm just sadly scrolling through pictures of my family while listening to murder and drinking depressants and sweatpants and Crocs, trying to turn my day around. It's my very first Carnival cruise. Well, this little fella bebops up to me, all chipper. He's about this tall. I don't care how tall you are. For the record, society does. I don't. I'm just trying to paint a picture, okay? I want you to be there with me. I want you to see him. Can you see him? He's this tall. He's about 65. White hair, thinning, parted, pink polo, collar pop. People still do that, evidently. He's wearing short khaki shorts, nautical flag belt. Do you know what that is? People still do that. It's a belt with all the different sailing flags on it. You shouldn't own that unless you own a fucking yacht or a huge sailboat. A huge sailboat. He's got a sailing belt, a Rolex, a pink polo, collar popped, glasses on croquis, boat shoes, no socks. I look over at it and I think, that must be the CEO of Carnival Cruise Lines. Either that or it's the richest guy who's ever been on Carnival Cruise Lines. Right? I immediately was like, sir, I think you missed the Norwegian boat. This guy takes one look at me and goes, judging by his standoffish body language, sweatpants, earbuds, and overall low energy demeanor, he looks like he'd like to chat. I see it coming. I'm like, nah, dog, nah. And he does the equivalent of, do you come here much? He goes, you been on this boat before? And you might not know this about me, but sometimes I'm an asshole. So I said, let me take these earbuds out so I can hear you. Do what? He goes, you been on this boat before? I'm like, no, sir, I haven't been on a cruise since I was 12 years old. And I'm immediately like, I shouldn't have said anything. Because now I'm going to follow that up with an explanation of why I'm on this one, by myself, in sweatpants. So he goes, what brought you out? And I can't just be like, oh, I just love to get away from my family and listen to murder. It's the way I chill. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, well, you can probably tell by my cheery disposition, I'm the comedian. I'm the comedian on this here ship. He thinks that's great. And then he goes, oh shit, really? Tell me a joke. So much fun. It's the best thing you can say to a comedian. If you ever meet one, make sure and ask him to tell you a joke. So cool, not annoying or weird at all. I love that. I'm like, oh, I'd love to tell you a joke right here at this bar without an audience or a stage or a microphone or payment. But it's been happening to me my entire career and I'm used to it. So finally, I wrote a fucking joke just for this occasion. Yeah. So he goes, tell me a joke. And I was like, you know what, motherfucker? Okay. So I go, all right. Have you heard the one of the proctologist? And he's like, no. I was like, yeah. This dude's a proctologist. Everywhere he goes, people are like, what do you do for a living? And he's like, I'm a proctologist. And they go, oh man, that's crazy. Would you mind taking a look at my asshole? He just hold the eye contact for like a really long time. And then you go, speaking of assholes, have a good night. And you walk away. But this dude, he loved it. Pervert Dave was his name. And I'll get to that. He introduced himself as Dave, and then later I established that he was Pervert Dave. And so he sits down and we start chatting. Nice enough guy, you know, I got nothing against him. He starts buying me drinks. So I bought my first drink, old fashioned, pretty good. My goal was to have between 5 and 7 liquor drinks, okay? And then I was gonna go back to my summer camp room on my fucking submarine mattress and sleep for 10 to 12 hours, right? And some of you are like, oh, 5 to 7 drinks, that's a lot. Not if you're a fucking professional. So I had one old fashioned. He starts buying me drinks. So I had a margarita, then I had a mezcal, I had another margarita, another old fashioned. I'm having a blast. And then it occurs to me, this old man is buying me multiple liquor drinks. He bought me 5 liquor drinks, expensive cruise ship craft cocktails with dried fruit and leaves. And then I was like, holy shit, I have friends that I've been friends with my entire life that have never bought me 5 liquor drinks in one night. And then I was like, Pervert Dave is my best friend. I owe him some companionship or something. What's on it, like? Well, he starts telling me the reason he's on the cruise ship is because that ship goes to the Dominican Republic more than any other ship, and it stays in port the longest, and he loves that because there's a brothel there that he loves to go to. Yeah, and that is why I named him Pervert Dave. research. So he's telling me all about the brothel. He's like, honestly, I've gotten to be really close with some of the women there. In fact, a couple of them I've been buying their kids Christmas presents for several years. So I was like, oh, you're a really sweet pervert, Dave. Well, it's getting late, it's getting late, and I was like, pervert Dave, I think I'm gonna head down to my submarine room and do a little self-abuse, He goes, you want to go to the nightclub? I was like, did you see the other people we boarded the ship with? Because we were on the oldies cruise. If you've ever been on a long cruise on Carnival, it's mostly people between the ages of 87 and 112. I got on the ship like this, holy shit. This is a lot of people's last cruise. It's like the most old people I've ever seen. So I was like, I don't think the nightclub's gonna be jumping, He goes, I'll buy you a drink. I was like, fuck it, Parker Dave, let's do this. So we go into the nightclub, quote unquote. We walk in there. There are 8 people in the nightclub, not including us. We walk in, and the bar is like shaped like it's like an elongated oval, and you can kind of get around the whole thing. Is that any lips? I don't know. I dropped that in college, but we walk in. There's 8 people around this bar. There's like two couples over here, 2 couples over here, bartenders. And I'm a people watcher, so I'm taking it all in. So we walk in over here. Over this way is like 2 dudes about my age, far end. A little closer, guy and gal, late 30s, maybe a couple, maybe friends, maybe siblings, who knows. Far left side, mom, mid-50s, daughter, college age-ish. And then, closest to us, hammered guy, hammered wife. And I guessed Texas, and I was right. And let me tell you about this guy, because I bet you've seen him before. Camouflage cargo shorts, sandals with, you guessed it, sleeveless t-shirt showing off where muscles could have been, white plastic frame sunglasses on the shirt, right? Totally bald up here. I don't know if he lost it or shaved it. It doesn't matter. And then facial hair, just a mustache goatee combo. Just this. None of this, just this. Can you see him? Pot belly, looks pregnant, mid-50s, skinny, hammered. Drunk like 21st birthday drunk. Oh, and he's missing his arm from like here down. Smart of the story, don't get mad at me. I didn't get it. I'm trying to paint a picture. I just want you to see the guy, okay? It's not an ableist joke. It is what it is. So I see the guy, and he's fucking stumbling and hammered, and I'm like, oh, don't look at him, don't talk to him. Don't look at him, don't talk to him, right? Because I've met that drunk guy at the bar. The real drunk guy at the bar, I've met him a lot. I've met him too many times. I've been in a scuffle with that exact guy a handful of times. They all had both their arms, but you know what I'm talking about. I know me, and I know that I shouldn't pay that guy any attention. So I'm walking in, pervert Dave goes, holy shit. I go, don't look at him, don't talk to him. Don't look at him, don't talk to him. So we sit down. Y'all know, we've all seen this dude at the bar, like way too much to drink, can't control his liquor, and he's just going around trying to give high fives to everybody at the bar, whether he knows it or not. It's so funny, right? And some of you are nice to those people, and you should fucking stop. Well, I hate that guy with my whole soul, okay? So I already know, like, don't look at this guy, don't give him any energy. So I'm sitting there trying to talk to my friend, Pervert Dave, because He's now bought me 6 liquor drinks. Okay? Do you know how much they cost? So he gets me a margarita. I'm sitting there talking to Pervert Dave. And Pervert Dave has now informed me that the brothel is for sale. And he is considering purchasing it. True story. So I'm just trying to be supportive as his new and closest friend. I'm like, hey, I hear you, brother. You gotta follow your heart, man. You know what they say, if you do something you truly love, you never work a day in your life. Well, right then, the little one-armed fella bumps into me. I spill my margarita right on my dick piece, okay? Not the whole margarita, but enough to make it look like I pissed myself, and enough for me to lament the amount of it I was no longer able to drink. So I turn around like, I'm just gonna go, hey, watch it. Watch it, mister. Something like that. Nothing crazy. I'm not trying to fight it or anything. I was just gonna go, bro, watch where you're going. As soon as I go, he's right there. He's like so close to my face. Nobody's gotten that close to my face in years, unless they were gonna try to kiss. And I just go, ha. And he's just like this. Swaying like a skinny pine tree in a breeze. And my brain was like, what? You know, like I kind of blanked. And then, before I could say anything, he just holds up the nub. And he's like, swaying with the nub. And my brain was like, you're on your own, bro. I got nothing for you. I was seriously speechless, you know? I'm like, I'm hard to stump. And, some of you get that on the way home, but so he holds up the nub and I just go, sorry, man. Right? I don't know what, that's what came out of my mouth. Sorry, I meant like, sorry about your nub. And he goes, it is what it is. And then I went, yeah. And then my brain just couldn't stop. I just went, some women probably love that. Now listen. No. You're nasty. I didn't do anything nasty. It's nasty that y'all immediately thought whatever you thought. What I meant was, look at you, pal. You got a wife. That's what I meant. I don't know what kind of dirty shit y'all immediately thought of before I even finished saying it. Y'all thought it before I even finished saying it. Some of you were thinking it already because you're nasty. You need to go to church. But I was like, some of them probably love that, and he must have been nasty fucks like y'all, because he goes, hell yeah, you ever seen a dick that big? And I said, not since last time I went to the bathroom. Which, not true at all, not true at all. Average at best. But it was funny, and it got a big laugh from the whole crowd, AKA 8 people. 7.5. And so, his wife laughed really hard. He did not like that I got a good laugh. And I was just like, all right, watch where you're going. So I turned back around, and I'm trying to talk to Pervert Dave about his business plan. And I'm like, yeah, buddy, I think you could shorten the sessions and raise the rates a little bit. Yeah. I think you could show an increase in earnings that way. It depends on what your goal is with the business plan, you know? In fact, I think you ought to consider trying to buy this thing in a U.S. LLC. There's the potential to do a 1031 exchange and avoid some capital gains taxes. You should ask a CPA. I'm not one. I live in a van. And right then, I hear the one-armed drunk guy going, liberal this and liberal that, fucking liberal. And my brain's like, what? Is he calling me a liberal? Because I'm not. I'm a fucking leftist, and there's a big difference. immediately, like, why is he calling me a liberal? Like, this guy just took one look at me and was like, his teeth are regular, I don't like him. He looks like he can read, fuck him. And I'm looking at Pervert Dave, I'm like, is he calling me a liberal? He's like, I don't know, dude. And I was like, sorry, I don't mean to be distracted. He's like, liberal. So as that's happening, the lady on the far end with the college-ish age daughter, she says to the one-armed guy's drunk wife, she says, my older daughter went off to college and got all liberal, and I hate her now. She said that. Those words, exactly. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, my ears went, ooh. Because if you don't know, I grew up in a Southern Baptist home. My dad worked on a pit crew when they still raced NASCAR on dirt. My mom talked in tongues until she got dementia and forgot. And I guess, right? That's what happened, right? Either that or the Holy Ghost was like, I ain't gonna fucking do this shit anymore, remember? And I got a gay sister, you know? So that shit cuts deep for me. So I heard that and I was like, oh, hell no. And I just leaned all the way forward on the bar and looked down at the lady and said, it's almost like everybody that went to college is really stupid and everybody that skipped it is really smart. And she goes, yeah! Because she's stupid. And listen, I don't care if you went to college or not. I dropped out. It was fucking hard. But the point was, it was a shitty thing to say, and I wanted to call her on it. Because when people are being pieces of shit, you should hold them accountable. Because otherwise, they end up with 6 bankruptcies and 3 felonies and be a child rapist and run out of country. So all that's happening, and she's like agreeing with me, and this one-armed guy's still going liberal, 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 liberal. Now, Pervert Dave, perhaps frustrated with my short attention span, leans forward on his stool, past me, looks at all them, points at me and goes, he's a liberal. I was like, you little son of a bitch. You're supposed to be my best friend. Because I made the mistake of making some political jokes with Pervert Dave before I knew better. As soon as he says I'm liberal, the one-armed guy loses his fucking mind. I'm not exaggerating. He lost his mind. He starts screaming, are you a liberal? Are you a liberal? And I thought, like, well, this will blow over. It did not. And he goes, and Pervert Dave had already told him I was a comedian. He goes, are you a fucking liberal? I ain't coming to your show. And I was like, oh man, what a bummer. I was really hoping you'd be there. I knew you couldn't clap, but I was hoping you'd laugh. And his wife goes, oh shit. Crowd was wild, big laugh. And I thought, well, that's probably the end of that. And I was wrong. And he keeps going, are you a liberal? Are you a liberal? And then he says to me the craziest shit that anybody has ever said to me in my entire life. And I live with an 8-year-old with autism and an 80-year-old with dementia. He looks straight in my eyes and says, I'll fuck your mouth. And my brain's not really working. It's all mouth, no brain, you know. I didn't think about it before I said it. I just said, with what? And that got a big laugh. And I thought, well, that's enough of that. That'll put an end to it. It did not. Then he says it again. And I thought that would put an end to it. It did not. He went on to yell that sentence at me 8 more times for a grand total of 11. I'll fuck your mouths. One of the more uncomfortable moments of my whole life. If you don't know this about me, I grew up in a little town called Gastonia, North Carolina. Don't cheer, it's a terrible place. But it's a little redneck town. It's just a suburb of Charlotte. And I'm not trying to say I'm from the wrong side of the tracks. I'm not trying to pretend to be something I'm not. My dad was a pharmacist, okay? I'm not trying to be Kid Rock, like growing up like a fucking rich kid and pretending to be a trailer rat. And you know what? Honestly, in Kid Rock's defense, he probably looked in the mirror and was like, I look like a white trash piece of dog shit. I should embrace this. Right? Give him a break. He looked in a mirror and he was like, I look like a guy who drives a purple 96 Camaro with Ford Mustang rims. I look like a guy who sells pain pills to junior high kids. I look like a guy who's only ever smoked swag. I look like a guy who might have sucked a dick for a Newport once. I'm not trying to be like I'm a thug or I'm a tough guy. I'm not. I'm just telling you, I grew up in a shitty little town where if you don't like somebody, you punch them in the face. So I've been punched in the face the first time in first grade. And what it did for me was it made me not afraid to get punched in the face. So I've now had 6 liquor drinks with Pervert Dave. And now some guy with one arm is yelling about fucking my mouth. And my little 18-year-old drunk redneck ego is coming out of the depths of my soul with a little accent. And he's going, dude, finish that margarita and fucking headbutt this guy. That was literally my first thought was headbutting. Did not cross my mind to poke him in the eyes or stomp on his foot. Never crossed my mind to hit him or kick him. My first thought was, I saw it all play out in my head too, like I'm Denzel Washington on The Equalizer. I was like, his nose is gonna explode, he's gonna fall, I'm gonna kick the wife in the throat, I'm gonna knock Pervert Dave off his stool, I'm gonna fucking roll out. But then this other voice in my head was like, you're a grown man, you're 40-something, and you've done yoga before. You've been to a meditation retreat. You cannot headbutt a drunk, one-armed 55-year-old in socks and sandals on your first night of your first cruise of 15 cruises. So I just chug my drink, slam it on the bar, I'm like, guess my night's over. Good night, everybody. Fuck you, Pervert Dave. And I walked out. I went down to my little submarine room, on my summer camp mattress. Old Jeff was in there sleeping on the floor. Ran it by him, he's like, I'd be upset too, brother, but we're all suffering. I fell asleep thinking about it. Oh, you're and I woke up thinking about it. And I was furious. I was like, I gotta do something. So I called security, like a fucking narc. And I'm not really a law enforcement kind of guy, believe it or not. I'm a bit of a bandit. But I was like, I want this dude to face some kind of accountability. I don't want people to act this way and not be held accountable. That's how people continue to be shitty, is when they're not held accountable. So I called and I was like, hey, I got verbally assaulted by a guest. And the head of security goes, well, what did he say? I was like, well, so he's gonna fuck my mouth. And then he goes, how do you know him? I was like, superior is a 23-year-old, blonde, mousy, bubbly young lady who goes by Kimbo from the UK. Now, I assume her name is Kim or Kimberly, and she's like, oh, she go by Kimbo. I hate that. I hate people that change their names a lot. But I'm like, okay, let me call her. I go, hello, Kim. And she goes, Kimbo. Okay. Hello, Kimbo. I got verbally assaulted by a guest last night. And she goes, well, what did he say? Well, he said he's gonna fuck my mouth. So I bring her down to the security office. The security office is a little bit smaller than this stool. It's the smallest room I've ever seen grown-ups be in on purpose. And it's full of grown-ups. It's every fucking security guy on the boat. Clearly the chief of police has called all the reinforcements. Hey, come down to the submarine level. We got a mouth fucking on the loose. They're all in there ready for a little giggle fest. So I walk in. There's the chief of police. There's 12 other dudes. 13 grown men in security uniforms. There's desks, chairs, printers, file cabinets, monitors, wall art, no windows because submarine. But it's the most shit I've ever seen squeezed into one room. And I used to get stoned and watch Hoarders, you know? So I now have hangover anxiety. I have my regular social anxiety. I have fucking whatever that is, clutter anxiety. And I sit down and I'm like, this fucking sucks. I don't want to be here. Kimbo is right across from me. There's 12 grown men standing all around us as if the plane just landed and they have to stand up the second it touches the tarmac. The chief of police is facing this way, no window. And he's like, tell me what happened. And I'm filling out a report. He's like, you have to write it out verbatim. So I'm writing it out. I'm like, he held up his nub. He asked me if I've ever seen a wiener as big as his nub. I said, when I went to the bathroom, I saw my wiener. He's got the monitor turned around facing me, because he's got some fucking, Palantir optics or some shit. He's like, I can find everybody based on their haircut and their age and their whatever. So he's like, tell me about it. I was like, I don't know. Middle, 50, 55, hammered, bald-headed, goatee. He goes, would you know him if you saw a picture of him? I was like, if you got a full body shot, then yeah, for sure. No, and so he's going through all the people, and you won't believe this, but bald-headed with a goatee mustache combo is the look on Carnival Cruise Lines. There was 1,486 of them. So I'm filling out the report, and I'm like, you want me to write this verbatim? He's like, verbatim. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'll fuck your mouth. With what? I'll fuck your mouth. I don't feel the same way about you, sir. So finally, I get the report done. I slide it over to the chief of police. And right about then, he's like still scrolling through the guys, and I look over and I'm like, that's him, that's the guy. He's like, are you sure? I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure. He told me he was gonna fuck my mouth about 6 inches from my face 11 times. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life, and that might have been his goal. Well then, for the first time, it sort of clicks in my head like, wait a minute, what are you gonna do to this guy? Right? Because I'm not a snitch. I'm not somebody that like calls the police on people and gets people jammed up. That's not who I am. So I start, in my head, I'm like, whoa, maybe I shouldn't have done this. So I'm like, hey, what's gonna happen to this guy? Because I don't want him to like get arrested. You know what I mean? Like I know they can't handcuff him, but like, right? accent, and it made it funnier. I'm sorry, just did. Sorry. I won't do it. I wish I could, but I can't. But I wish I could. But it was fucking hilarious. But he's like, okay, I fuck your mouth. I fuck your mouth. And he's reading it, and everybody there's like, and I'm furious, because at this point it wasn't funny to me yet. You know? I'm mad. I'm like, we need to hold him accountable. And I'm looking across at Kimbo, and she's like, and it gets to the part where it's like, okay, he says, have you ever seen a dick this big? And you said, not since I went to the bathroom. And he looks at me and goes, no. True story. So he's going through all my jokes, and I'm like, I'm fucking killing, dude. This is hilarious. And he starts getting to those, I'll fuck your mouth, and I'm like, I'm mad again, you know? But that first thought, I'll fuck your mouth, I'm like, this piece of shit. I look over at Kimbo, who's now crying. Her whole body is shaking. She's covering her face, she's trying to laugh, and she's like, and I see a teardrop go, just drip off her chin. I'm like, you piece of shit. I look around at all the other security guards, and they're all like, everyone's laughing but me. But by the time he got to that seventh, I'll fuck your mouth, I was like, this is pretty funny. So then I start laughing. Well, you can tell I'm losing my voice. I have a condition called Sjogren's, and part of it is like really dry mouth, dry throat. I also have chronic sinusitis and asthma. So like everything from here up is just fucked, you know? Like it's hard for me to laugh without coughing. So I'm now over here like laughing and shaking and crying and coughing. Well, this guy can't see any of them. He can only see me. And evidently he looks over and is just like, this poor guy. He reaches out and puts his hand on my shoulder and goes, it's gonna be okay, man. And that was my first Carnival cruise. But I tell you something, we gotta beat these people. We really do. And I know, like, it's funny, it's fun to make fun of them, but they're fucking insane. They're like really, they think QAnon's a real thing. They're really, really crazy. We gotta beat them, and we gotta have clever ways to do that. And sometimes it's funny, and I had some like funny ideas in my first special. One of them, I said that if you're a white supremacist, you should have to put that on your driver's license. You know, like, let everybody know. You're a white supremacist, put it on there. Good luck. Right? Because we need to know. Like if you're like hair color, eye color, weight, height, organ donor, yes or no? Racist, yes or no? The first responders need to know so they can act accordingly. Also, what if you need an organ? Huh? We don't want you to get the wrong one. That'd be a real mess, wouldn't it? So that was like one of the jokes in my first special, and I watched it by accident the other day because I was high on weed. It popped up in my feed, and I was like so tired of the death and destruction. I was like, I'm gonna watch this guy's comedy right here. I was real high. I was like, that's me. What the fuck? Who shared this? And I watched that bit, and I was like, this is my favorite bit I've ever written. But then, because I was high, my brain was like, also, you know, how your brain's like, think about this. Here's 10,000 other ideas around this one idea. My brain was like, think about organ donors. Think about white supremacists need organs at a way higher rate than good people. Right? Think about it. All that mayonnaise and Mountain Dew. Right? Eating cigarette butts your whole life. You're going to need an organ or two. And then I thought, wait a minute, you know everybody that donates organs isn't just automatically a straight white Christian male, right? And then my brain was like, oh shit. Statistically, small town Klan leader with a lesbian Latina heart. Right? There's gotta be. And I love that for his spiritual evolution. He does not deserve the heart. He does not deserve the heart. I just want to say that. If you vote for me for president, he wouldn't get that heart. But now that he's got it, I love that for his evolution as a person, you know? And then my high brain was like, I want to be there when he wakes up from surgery. I want to be a fly on the wall in the operating room. When the doctor comes in, he's like, sir, we're able to save you with some organ donations. And the guy's like, oh my God. Thank you so much. Save my life. He's like, sir, I didn't do all the I just did the work. I'm just a doctor. You would not be alive today if it weren't for the kindness of these two organ donors. And he points at like this picture on an easel with a wreath around it. He's like, you're alive because of the kindness and selflessness of these two men right here. This is Lamont, and this is Ahmed. They were life partners, and they wrecked their Toyota Prius on the way to a Pride event at their mosque. Can you see they're like, get it out of me! I don't want no gay Muslim Toyota Prius heart! The doctor's like, sir, calm down, take a deep breath. Everything's gonna be fine. Breathe. Listen, just rest, okay? I'm gonna come back and check on you in a couple hours. Just try to get some rest. You're gonna work through this. You're gonna get used to it. Just relax, okay? And by the way, you look incredible. You have Ahmed's eyes. Beautiful Persian eyes. And then as the doctor goes to leave the operating room, he turns around and he goes, hey, by the way, I'm really sorry we couldn't save that arm. Thank you so much for coming out today. Do me a big favor if you don't already follow Flare, F-L-A-R-E, follow Flare. We're going to be leading citizens into Congress tomorrow. I went into Jim Jordan's office today, and I said in a raised voice, I understand that Jim Jordan is used to covering up sexual assault, so it's not that big of a stretch for him to cover up for a child rapist who shits his pants in our White House. But we would like for him to stop, please. And you can do that too. Flair is leading citizens into Congress 3 days a week, every week. Nobody's doing more on the ground kicking Nazi dicks than Flair. Volunteer, donate, come out, support, interact. And there's a lot of other people and groups involved in this week to support them too. I just want to tell you guys, you're awesome for being here. You're awesome for fighting this fight. I just want to reiterate to you, you don't need anybody's permission to organize your own shit. You don't need permission and you don't need help. You go find a place and a venue, you make a Facebook event, you make a Canva flyer, you reach out to other activists, other people, other groups, and make shit happen. And we are at a point where we need to start physically making it more difficult to be a piece of shit Nazi. Flat tires don't roll. Broken windshields are hard to see out of. I'm super busy. I got a tour and stuff, but when I say we, I really mean white boomers. I love you. I love y'all. I'm not picking on you. I love you, but you got the best of this country. You got the best of it. You bought a house for a nickel that's now worth $2 million. Your college cost $50. You had a legit job and affordable health care. You got money in the bank. You got equity. You probably got a clean criminal record, right? You probably know an attorney. You might be an attorney. There's an attorney in here right now. You can afford to go to jail. You can afford to miss a little work. You can afford to pay a lawyer. A lot of the younger people cannot. It's got to be you that goes and rents 10 U-Haul trucks and then drives them to the ICE facility and park them in the entrances and exits. And then you get in an 11th vehicle that's a 14-passenger van, and you and the other 10 people from the 10 rental trucks get in the van, and you all go eat brunch together and wait to be arrested. It's you. You got to do it. And your kids and your grandkids will think you're a fucking hero because you will be. Block the entrances. These Congress people own businesses. Go there. Shit there. Shit there. And listen, even if you can't do any of that, here's what you can do. If you live anywhere near here, you can protest the Heritage Foundation every fucking chance you get an extra hour. You can call them Nazi dog shit to their faces while they walk out of there. And even if you can't do that, you can call them. You can call the Heritage Foundation every single time you take a shit. You can call them. And you can go, hey, Heritage Foundation, it's Linda. I'm shitting again. And I thought of you because you're a piece of shit working for a piece of shit organization. And I wanted to let you know that I'm shitting, and it made me think of you because you're such a piece of shit. Talk to you tomorrow. Unless I have a taco salad, I'll talk to you later today. You can do that every day. What if just the people in this room did that every day? Just the people in this room. I tell this to every crowd, by the way. But what if just us? What if we just did it? 100 people a day called and said, hey, I just shat. And it made me think of the Heritage Foundation, you dog shit clown fuck. Killing yourself, because what's coming is going to be way worse than that. Have a good day. Talk to you tomorrow. I'm kidding, but I totally mean it. Woo! All right, I love you. Thanks for coming. I'll see you soon. There's a meet and greet, and it's gonna gold card, Antifa gold card. Doors over there, so the line's gonna form this way. Doors over there, and the line's gonna form this way. And where am I gonna be? I'm gonna be inside that room in about 30 minutes. $2 off every drink bought from now on. $3 off if you buy it from me.
That's